reel it in. I got the bag, tell a friend. She got some ass, bring it in. Bitch, I'm the new CNN, yeah.
Hi loves, it's your girl, Lady T. And it's Rob and Eve. And we are doing, I think, this will be like our first reaction.
We're reacting to a
reaction?
No, they're not reacting in this video.
So we're gonna view our reaction to a video that was posted by
TnK Squad. We had got a few people that had requested us to look at the video, and I think this was in reference to the video that we did as far as the situation with Queen and her mother being kicked out of the hospital by Clarence.
Yeah.
Queen Naja. So people said, dude, look at TnK Squad's video and do a reaction to what they said in reference to Clarence kicking her mom out of the hospital. So that's what we're here to do. We're going to do a
this
reaction.
is going to be a legit, real reaction because we've never seen this video.
Yeah.
When people were telling us to watch it, we just pulled up and found it. So like, okay, so this is going to be our honest first time. I've never seen the videos. I did not hear of them. I just heard from other people that they're considered Queen Naja haters. That was whatever. So anyway, so this is our reaction, and we're going to watch this video. We're gonna try to be nice.
Do you have play the video? Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
The streets have been, YouTube streets have been hot.
This is our new segment called We Plugged In. Anyway, it's your boy Travis checking in.
It is your girl Kiana, aka Queen Kiana.
We plugged in. Let's go. We got a little talk going on.
Well, first we'll say this. Like
cut it down and loud.
I'm sorry, we got surround sound hooked up to it. I wanted surround sound at work. Anyway.
We watched that 17-minute video.
Is he sleepy already?
A lot of stuff.
Maybe she took a nap first.
That we were told was validated in that video. A lot of y'all won't understand because y'all don't know the behind the scenes stuff like we know. Because as Travis say, it's an episode of called what?
We Plugged In.
So that's how we know certain stuff is out here. And no, it is not. Because a lot of people be like, oh, yeah, your motherfucking informant is Chris.
Oh, we never physically talked to Chris.
We never.
Chris put one tweet out and said,
ever.
I love those people. And this,
we will never
talk to Chris.
Never ever has talked to Chris behind the scenes of YouTube, like behind the scenes of Instagram, anything. But we have talked to Queen behind the scenes of YouTube and Instagram. Like I have physically talked to her on the phone, but that's another situation.
Now, it's a lot of YouTubers that we didn't talk to, but Chris ain't one of them. But anyway, let's get started.
Who are they that YouTubers are talking to?
So, now, one of the main reasons...
These are facts. This came from inside that circle.
What circle? So is he close with the sister?
I'm saying like
cool with the mom? Like who would know that?
Because you know how people. I'm like, you fucking Chris.
Chris not inside that damn circle. Anyway.
Yeah,
he's definitely
he's not liked in that circle at all. Chris, I'm gonna say this: Chris is a very hated man in that circle.
Yeah.
So he don't know anything that's going on over there in that camp.
Exactly.
But the main reason why Clarence dislikes Queen mom and her side of the family so much is because Clarence hates anybody that still socializes with Chris or that has some type of ties to Chris.
Why?
CJ.
Yeah.
Whoa,
we're gonna get on to the reasons because I know y'all.
Wait, what did he say? Did he say CJ like the little boy CJ? What did he say?
Why Queen mom, and this is sad. So we're gonna get on to the.
I'm sorry, guys. We have to.
It has some type of ties to Chris.
including CJ.
Yeah.
What?
We're gonna get on to the reasons because I know y'all like
Girl, stop. Okay. That, you know, I already get very leery when people say an insider, somebody in the circle. So if you didn't physically see it or hear it, you can't believe anything that comes out of anybody's mouth if it didn't come out of the horse's mouth. Sorry. Because it seems to me like the only people really in that circle are Clarence, Queen, the manager, the sister, and then maybe Clarence's best friend. So, are you speaking of one of those 4 people? Because if someone in the inner circle is someone in Queen's family who has a problem with Clarence, wouldn't you think they would tell you lies? To say this man hates a child. Is that there's nothing that's gonna make me believe that unless I physically see or hear this man say, I don't like this child.
And I refuse a woman would be with a man who dislikes her kids. That is one of my things when I go that guy. If you and my kids have to have a relationship to the point where I feel comfortable, they feel comfortable, and the guy feels comfortable. That makes no sense that statement you just made.
So whoever your sources are, it can't be nobody that's on in Queen's corner. It can't be. No, I don't believe that.
You have to get some new information.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're gonna continue this right here.
She started to defend her grandson.
Which only a grandmother would.
When she started to defend her grandson,
which a mama
he
should.
felt some type of way, got up in her face. And then after that, he told her to leave the hospital room. Now they were so.
What the hell is she reading?
Did Clarence not want baby CJ there?
Wait, I asked. What are you talking?
CJ was not even in town at this time.
I asked, who the hell are you talking to? For you to have intimate details of that situation that happened after she gave birth. It'd be a process of elimination.
Yeah.
Who the hell is
It have to be Queen, Clarence's mom, Reva, that's Queen's mom.
And
that's it.
But nurses have to be in there changing, doing something.
That would be the only.
So who are you talking to?
So it's clearly Queen's mom is who the insider is. Or it's someone who Queen's mom has told the story to, and that person is reporting back to them.
So again, you're
getting a one-sided story. I wouldn't even have made this video off of a one-sided story if it didn't come from Clarence, or even if it was a thing where you got the story from Queen's mama's side and then got the story from Queen's side and her people's side. Then I could even be like, okay, this would be a legitimate, video to make. Because you got both sides of the story. So we're coming off the facts of someone who has a problem with Clarence, basically. That's what we're getting at. So, okay. I almost don't even want to look at the rest of the video.
I really don't, because I don't like the fact that this little baby has been thrown in this menagerie.
I'm trying
to read and not reveal shit. It's what you
some stuff, but I don't want to tell y'all everything.
How you know that, girl? Is he trying to read too?
Girl,
what's he looking at?
He's looking at the phone too.
Okay, so I'm gonna go from there. So
here,
the main reason why she got kicked out of the room because she started defending her grandson. Clarence did get in this lady's face.
Allegedly.
Disrespectful.
Allegedly.
Now, I asked.
He must have worked third shift or something.
Why is it that when
he's sleepy,
somebody tries
he's in yarn and everything, and his eyes won't open all the way up?
Reva, like, now, never was Tina's intentions when she did the Instagram post were to hurt her sister, because she wasn't trying to do that.
Don't even pause it,
because
that's bullshit.
Disrespect your mom, our mother. Like, not only did he verbally disrespect her.
Girl, these
But he
motherfuckers
gotta-
right here that's not talking to that damn sister or the mom or somebody, get the hell out of here.
So that's why.
How do you know what her
That whole
intentions were when she
thing,
posted the Instagram video? If she didn't want to hurt herself, she would have did it
upset about
privately.
What's going on right now? And the reason why Miss Reba can't say that because she's scared for her livelihood.
Yeah.
It's not rocket scientists that Queen
Livelihood. How about you go get a job, Mama Reva? That could solve this completely.
If that's the problem. But mind you, Clarence is controlling, so he was so damn controlling. Why would he even let her continue to pay her mama's bills?
Unless he wanted to go out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't understand like.
So
how
Queen's
these
sister is the
people
manager, or
come
his
up with
sister is
the
her manager?
Assumptions that
Clarence's sister is Queen's
people
manager.
are they just want.
I didn't feel not even better to speak my mind.
Exactly.
He can't.
I can agree with that.
He can't.
He said he can't live in fear, which is what they're trying to say. Queen's mama's living in fear of being able to speak out because they're going to stop paying her bills. You can probably hear that.
She's tired of being the one.
It does not make any sense. And the reason why it doesn't make sense and that theory is flawed is because her mom has come out. And even, and I said this in the last video, even if she's not aggressively saying, admitting, or agreeing to the stuff that's being said, she's subliminally doing it. She made a whole video after this stuff happened with Chris and Clarence arguing on Twitter. Mm-hmm. She made a whole video basically agreeing with Chris. A whole video. She basically blamed Clarence and his family. You look at the video and you read in between the lines, adults, because I can't speak for these children that are going out and making little comments, but you can look at the video and tell that was the moment that I knew there was a problem between Queen's family and Clarence. When that mama put that video out, nothing else but that video
was it.
That was it. When I seen that video, I said, oh, there's an issue. There's a problem. So to say that the mom isn't speaking up because she isn't loud and proud about it is a lie. If they were fighting in the hospital and to the point where Clarence has to get in her face, wouldn't that mean the bills are going to stop being paid?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the moment? Or third of all, who lives in the house with the mama? Tina? The son? Terrell? She has a brother too.
Oh, okay.
They live in the house as well. This girl has she just basically threatened Clarence in her tweets when we read it, or in her Snapchat when she said, you got something coming. So she just threatened this man. So if he was so controlling and they're in fear of money being cut off and bills not being paid, wouldn't that be enough to say, okay, Ma, Tina got to move out. I'm not paying a single bill in that house.
Yeah.
If that's what it's about. I don't think that's it at all. This is one-sided. We're taking the word of the mom because, like I said, I don't think they're talking to Queen's mom. But even if they are talking to Queen's mom, there's too much stuff that's left out. Like even the whole thing of baby CJ being thrown in the conversation. What was said for him to say
that my son's
not going to be like that?
CJ.
Yeah. What was said?
And what does be like? Now I will agree with the husband, whatever his name is. That what does that mean?
What does that mean? It doesn't make any sense. So it seems like either she's not reading what brought it up to that point, or she didn't tell you. The person you're talking to didn't tell you, which means they're giving you half stories.
Exactly.
They're not even telling you what was probably really said. That don't make no sense to me. And I'm telling you now, I will bash Queen from here to Kingdom Come if that really happened and she sat there and let that be said about her child. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody gonna make me believe that girl's a bad mom and gonna sit there and allow that.
And even though Chris can't go on social media or whatever the case may be, I refuse that man would sit there and know this man feels a certain way about his child, because if that was the case when Chris was making videos and making posts, that would be the first thing he would have addressed.
Yeah.
This man don't like my son.
Yeah.
Therefore, this is why I feel the way about him, and go on and go on. I've never seen anything to him that Chris posted or videos saying, well, I don't F with him because he don't like my son. So to throw a child in this, whoever the lady's getting her information from, like you said, you're getting a half-assed truth, or you're trying your best, whatever dialogue that you had with somebody that had to be either in the room or somebody in that room told what happened. So by the time you got the text messages, it probably would have ran to about 4 or 5 people. So you're not getting an accurate story, in my opinion. So now you're having to read and leave people's names out of this conversation because you don't want to blow up your game. That's
exactly,
cool.
And that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, you don't want to blow your spot up.
You don't want to blow you don't want to blow your spot up, but you also don't want to make it to where if it was obvious who told, that the real story will come out and that person will look like a liar. You know, like that. All of that doesn't make any sense.
Are you going to expose basically who? Because I mean, like I said, unless you were in the room, unless you paid a nurse or a doctor or the cleaning crew who come to change out the biohazard bags, you know, it's a lot of secondhand information. Like I said, it's getting to a point of dangerousness. I refuse to believe, as a mother, that you would sit there and let someone talk about your child, disrespect your mom. I refuse Queen would sit there and let that happen. I just don't see her being that much of a punk, or being weak, or however people feel about her, that let that happen. Okay, the mom, maybe. But your child, your flesh and blood, and then Chris not speaking about it. I don't know. So,
oh hell no! I'm in the same city on a melon hill.
Now I did think that was odd.
Right there.
How you know she knows?
Because Queen's mom opened it up. Then I was like, I didn't know that they lived in the same city. I thought that Queen's family was in Detroit.
Slowly separate.
So I did think that was odd when I saw the mom say Queen mailed me a gift, and I was like, they're in the same city?
But she put it on social media.
Queen's mom did. She made a whole video opening the gift.
Again, why did that have to go on social media?
And his counterparts.
Her mom faulted Chris for the path that Queen took.
Yeah, but Queen chose.
What path?
So,
is she on drugs?
So that's what I'm saying.
Is she prostituting or something?
Queen
What path?
decided to take up Chris' feelings.
Queen chose Queen.
Listen, if this guy yarns one more time, I'm gonna go sleep.
To back up her man, like to keep living in that house,
or I'm gonna strip everything from you.
What the hell is that noise in their background?
When does Queen say she's going to handle it? I've never seen this.
Can you pull the tweet that Queen had did?
Yeah,
pull the tweet because I want to kind of see what is in their background that's going like the Dickens?
Girl, it can't be no worse than our. I'm
sorry. Sorry, we have a guest that interrupted our reaction. This is Lila. Tell everybody in our world, say hi, loves. Get out of here. You're not going to speak to the...
I just wanted to quickly interject what I'm thinking right now is they start the video off by saying people think that they talking to Chris or whatever, and I've seen it. We both heard it about them being Queen haters or whatever the case may be. They're doing exactly the same thing that the mom did in that video where I said that's when I knew she had a problem with Clarence. They're doing the exact same thing. You're trying to make what Chris done to Queen not as bad as what Clarence, what you allegedly think Clarence is doing to Queen. Like, did you see how they kept saying that? Well, Chris kind of gave her, a little bit more freedom. When this girl clearly said she didn't even have control of the money. She couldn't do anything with the money that they earned from the channels. And you're saying that Chris gave her freedom. Like I said, I've heard things and I've seen videos that Chris has put up where he has blatantly said that Queen's family was a problem. Now she's in a new relationship and it's the same thing happening. But that's neither here nor there. I'm more speaking about you almost make yourself seem like you have some type of relationship with Chris, because how are you going to try to make one evil less than the other one if that's the case?
A sin is a sin is a sin.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
So, yeah.
He did, if that's the case, and then how I'm trying to say, well, Chris probably didn't make her be that way, the way she is. Like, she didn't get the abortion, and that was her doings. And the whole moving away, that was her prerogative to do so. So which is it? Is she weak-minded, or is she only weak-minded with Clarence? Because that's what you're insinuating. So it does make it feel like there's some type of bias going on.
You have a tie, some kind of tie connection with Chris.
Chris, exactly.
And because y'all say, we don't talk to Chris, and people think, we must talk to Chris.
Yeah.
You got some kind of relationship, friendship, whatever with him.
Whatever.
Because you can't, I honestly say, I could be in a situation where I can defend Queen, I can defend Clarence, I can defend Chris, I can defend Queen's family. Mm-hmm. And not say, do I think what's happening, the biggest thing we said in our last video when we talked about this, that this needs to get off social media, period. Mm-hmm. And even when you make the whole thing of Queen mailing her mom a present, even though they're in the same city, why did Queen's mom have to make a video posting of, look at my daughter, mail me a gift and she's down the street from me? That's silly. That's mess. Mm-mm. That causes friction, and that causes them to invite people into the situation. Because whoever was in that damn hospital when that woman after she had that baby, which I'm shocked, because I feel like I would think they would have security, no one could come in this room. So if you keep talking and expose who told you that, all the stuff that allegedly happened in the room, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be some smoke.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, you guys seem real biased right now, totally biased. It doesn't. If she is weak-minded, as you guys are both claiming she is, how is it that she had a little bit more freedom with Clarence or Chris than she does with Clarence? Doesn't make any sense. Your whole theory is flawed at that point, or not valid. I feel that way 100%. If you can't be unbiased when you're trying to report a story or whatever the case may be, then it's invalid.
It's a reason.
It's invalid.
You said you've had conversations with Queen. I would love to know what those conversations were pertaining to.
She said, oh, that's a whole nother story. But, girl, okay, go ahead.
This long. We're making our video long. Damn.
What this video is here, I know we gonna get a lot of hate. I don't give a damn.
Obviously. That's obvious.
Everybody hates TnK. How y'all say everybody hates Chris? Well, everybody hates TnK.
Don't nobody hate y'all. Y'all just biased. The moral of the story is y'all are just biased. It is.
In Miss Reba's video,
I wish I could pause this for
some grown ass women. The things that they telling this lady. Y'all gotta be ashamed of yourself. Because you don't even know what
about you.
You knew.
They're talking about you.
You know when it first happened.
What?
They're talking about you, Rodney.
You're so silly. I have commented on Queen's mom's video, but I don't do no disrespectful conversations. I don't put nothing. I'm a grown woman. I don't have to go and bash nobody's mama. But if it's on there for you to give your opinion and your comment and your thoughts, the moral of my comment towards the mom was to take it off social media. Stop worrying about the clicks and the likes and the views, and fix it with your daughter, and fix it with your potentially could be your son-in-law. That's what I said, because at the end of the day, and I don't like to do the whole, be the bigger person. She don't got to be the bigger person, but you need to pull these two into a room, have a mediator, or have somebody who is trained to handle these things and fix it. Because something is off. Because there was a point in time where y'all were all in the videos. She called herself Mama Love because that's what Clarence, I think he gave her that name. That used to be her name. And then you could tell when it switched because it's changed her name. So there's little things. That's why I say, I don't know these two TnK from a can of paint. I don't watch their videos like that, so I don't know how they operate or move. But you have to be able to see both sides of the situation. I'm very good at reading people. I call myself an empath, and I really feel like I am. And there's little stuff that the mama does that you can tell she's a very passive aggressive person. You can tell she's a very petty person. And that is what it is. That right there, that little bit of changing the name was okay. But besides that, it just someone needs to be the one to say we're going to fix this. And I would say on Clarence's end, and Lady T touched on it the other day when she said that, her parents, our parents, that's a big deal as far as people being able to get along with whoever she chooses to be with. Mm-hmm. Same thing for me. It usually is for all of our siblings or whatever. But there needs to be a point where Clarence is like, I don't want to see Queen, because it's got to bother Queen. Even if she's acting like it doesn't and she's on videos and she's fine, I do know that deep down inside it has to bother her that the person she loves and then her family who she loves cannot get along. And so it needs to be a point where Clarence is like, I don't want to see her go through this. So what do I need to do to make things right with your family so that we can move on from this? So it's going to have to be, somebody is going to have to take the reins. Out of the three of them, Queen, Clarence, somebody, because Queen can just as easily be like, y'all going to sit down, we're going to fix this, if she wants to. But I feel like a pattern of this must be usual. And I think, and I'm going to stand by it, I feel like Clarence, and they kind of touched on it a little bit too when they said that someone is, I think Clarence is making her stand up for herself more. He is making her comment more, or I don't want to say make, because that's not the word that it is. I just think that he is encouraging her to stand up for herself. And she is being more vocal. But I think that's what the problem is. I just think they're not used to her standing up for herself. And you can say all day that Queen has become this weak, mindless person with Clarence. She was, if that's who
to them, she's always been that way. Like, I mean,
so,
almost like they grew up with her or something like that. They know her innards. And, they know since she was 10 years old that she's always been a weak-minded person and, had no backbone. And to say this for you, you're not going to reveal your source because your source, is telling the truth. You knew about there was a situation where she was supposed to have an abortion with baby CJ. And y'all knew way about it when it happened, before it happened, and so your sources are credible. Like I said, you keep talking, you're going to reveal who your source is. Because conversations like that are not something you get on the damn bullhorn and you make an announcement about. So you keep talking, and when the bells get to turning in Queen's head, like who was around for this conversation, who was around for that conversation, you're going to reveal your source. But let me say this. At the end of the day, like I said, we try not to do videos where we're on one side of the other, but we may feel one situation is right than the other. The situation all over is wrong because the family, Queen's family shouldn't be posting stuff on social media. Clarence shouldn't be doing stuff. And Queen has no choice at the day to get on and defend something because he's being attacked, she's being attacked. You get people that act like they've been knowing Queen since the womb, that what kind of person she is. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on in that home.
Yeah.
Even between her and Chris, even with her and Clarence. And again, I will say this. If Queen is allowing Clarence to hurt, disrespect, talk about mentally abuse or verbally abuse little baby CJ, then shame on her. I refuse to believe that woman's letting that happen. I refuse to believe that Chris, knowing it's happening, and not do anything about it.
Yeah, the same Chris that she just tweeted not even 2 or 3 hours ago that CJ seen baby Renzo on FaceTime and he called him handsome. I would think that there would be a major issue with you even being able to speak to baby CJ during my time if it was Chris and there was really an issue. That's what I would think. So they're going to say that, like the guy, the husband, he was alluding to the fact, everything that Queen Naja is going to do pertaining to the whole relationship between her sons is going to be solely for the camera,
social media and the cameras. And then once she puts the phone down, they're going to kick little CJ's little ass out off into Wonderland and love on baby legend. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
The whole thing is ridiculous. It is, because at this point, basically what these two are saying is there's not anything that she can do right. Because if she shows him too much, she's faking it. If she don't show him enough, it's because she doesn't have them. Like, I don't like that. And this is the thing too. When it comes to a situation where the household has been split, and it's not a thing of, y'all being together so everyone gets kind of the same amount of time with the child, you have to understand that CJ is going to have to be around his grandparents, his grandma. He has to have time with them too. So Queen, you got to think about it. If it's 50-50 now because it's a split situation, Queen technically can only get 25% with her child because guess what? Sometimes has to go to everybody else spending time with him too. It has to be that way. Because then if it wasn't, then what's that mean? Oh, she's keeping baby CJ from the grandma.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's what it is at this point. So if she starts spending all her time and every single moment with baby CJ, people, we're going to hear it now. Her source is going to tell that Queen is keeping CJ. But to be honest with you guys, I have seen mamas be the most toxic people. I really have. I'm not saying Queen's mom is, but I feel like if this stuff is coming out and it's being made up and it's one-sided and the mama is allowing people to say this when it's not the truth, I wouldn't be shocked if she kept CJ from her as well. We've seen it. There's another YouTube couple going through it now where they have completely won a restraining order against her mama. You know, like it just it's ridiculous, but family can be just as toxic. Lila, please. We should have took her home.
I'm sorry, my little niece pulling.
Oh, that's getting edited out. But I think we're gonna stop. I don't even need to see the rest of this video.
Yeah,
I really don't.
It's only like 8 minutes left, but it's gonna be a bunch of
yeah, because like I said, I can even understand it if they were saying allegedly and we're not for sure. And then everybody's gonna have their opinion. So that's their opinion on it. That Queen basically can do no right, and baby CJ is gonna be neglected because they're there all the time. You know, and that's another thing too. If this source, who we definitely, I think all of us can confirm, it's not anybody in Queen's camp. It's somebody in Queen's mama's camp. If they're not around Queen and Queen's being controlled and her family can't be around her to even see how they interact with CJ, how are they to say that Clarence mistreats him?
Exactly.
He can't let y'all tell it. Mama can't even come in the house. So how do y'all know? Y'all weren't on tour with her, not none. Like it just hoopla. Like I know when something's one-sided, and that's my whole thing. That whole thing is one-sided. But I will say this, ending this, Clarence, if you love Queen like you say you love Queen, fix it. Because either you fix it, or Queen, you fix it, or Mama, Reva, you fix it. Somebody's going to have to put on their big boy pants and get this thing handled because it's toxic. And what is going to happen is you are going to end up losing visitation or not being able to see CJ. You're going to end up going to court just to get grandparent privileges. So don't do that. And another thing, because that is a such thing, people, grandparents can go.
See, he got me yarning all that
time. Yarning.
Yeah, because I watched him yarn about 20 times.
But there is a such thing as grandparent privileges. You can petition a court to get grandparent rights and visitation. Grandparents, girl. But my thing is, if it's that big of a deal to where Clarence is trying to keep baby Legend from y'all, take him to court and get some visitations with him. But I bet you're not, because what you're going to do is be petty, and just like they said, it's going to be like this with the two. It's not going to be Clarence doing it. It's going to be that mama doing it. She's going to, like she said, my grandson, but wouldn't even call baby Legend her grandson. She kept saying the baby, but CJ was her grandson. So she already dividing the two. She already separating them.
So yeah, like you said, that split's going to come from her. So I'm going to end with, again, I just kind of was looking at the comments on this video, and I mean, they really got a lot of people, dogging Queen now because they feel like Queen's letting this happen, and shame on Queen. So anyway, I'm going to say it again, Queen. I mean, you're going to be the one that had to bring this family together. When it comes to, you gave birth to both these boys. Mama, Reva, Bia, please stop posting up personal information. No one should know about this whole abortion situation. You should not be referring to CJ as your grandson and then your other grandson as the baby. Mm-hmm. You can at least give that little man some respect and call him by his name, which is Legend. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like Robin said, y'all gonna have to take this off social media. Someone's gonna have to make that phone call. Let's get in a room. Let's be adults. Let's be family.
Yeah.
We don't may have to like each other. We may have to agree with stuff that we do, but at the end of the day, we are family.
Exactly.
And these little boys need everybody.
Yeah.
And Clarence, I hope that you're not doing what TnK said you're doing and mistreating CJ.
Yeah.
That's a no-no. And that's going to be shame on you and wrong for you as a man to do that if you're doing it. I hope you're not. So we're going to conclude. We're not going to watch the rest of this video.
Yeah, really. We're going to end it
8 minutes left. I'm over it. I will say this. Clarence, as a man, I really hoped and prayed to God whatever TnK and Tink and them said on this reaction video is not true.
You keep trying to call
That
me Tink.
I hope that you are not mistreating baby CJ. I hope that as a man, you would love both these boys and bring these boys close together. And for Miss Queen, like I said, as a mom, I refuse to believe that you sat there and you let this interaction happen, you let this conversation happen, and you've let Clarence mistreat baby CJ. For whatever reason, I hope that you have not sit there on the love that you have for Clarence for him to mistreat your son. For the Queen's family, particularly the mother, you have to stop going to social media. Tina, you have to stop going to social media. And for anybody to know any business about any abortion that Queen was going to have with baby CJ, now this little boy is going to watch this.
Exactly.
Your grandson that you love so much is going to see the footage one day. Because you put that in the universe. Ain't no going back now. You understand? So anything that relates to your grandsons, because you have 2 of them, by Queen, you need to stay off social media. And don't even mention it. They should not be even a factor in this mess because they're innocent. Your issue is with your daughter and with your future son-in-law. And whoever else. His family, whatever the case may be. Because it's getting out of hand. Mm-hmm. It's really getting out of hand. And then to TnK, your source
is one-sided.
One-sided. Just like you are one-sided. You may not conversate with Chris. You may have never had a conversation with this man and he gave y'all a shout out because he liked y'all because y'all were dogging out Queen. Mm-hmm. You know, but
just like your source has probably latched onto you just for the fact that they know you don't like Queen. Did you think of that?
I mean,
that's clearly what it is. I don't see anyone that's for Queen that would be coming giving you information. I would take your source better at that than someone who clearly has an issue with Clarence and Queen. That's who your source is.
Yeah.
You know.
So
yeah.
I just think that we're going to leave it at that. We're not going to continue the rest of the 8 minutes.
We're not continuing the rest of that video. And another thing, guys, what I was saying about the whole thing of that family could be just as toxic and all of this. Let's stop calling this grown woman weak-minded. Let's stop doing that because just maybe her family is toxic and she's choosing to stay away from it.
Because we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know what happened, what she's been through with them. We don't know none of that. Is it a possibility that this girl has made the decision that I'm not going to let anybody with toxic drama around me? Is that the possibility? And we can leave it at this tweet that she put up here.
Go ahead.
She said, when they ask me who I choose no one. Instead, I'll choose love, I'll choose peace, I'll choose respect, and I'll choose happy. And when you get to a certain point in your life, that's all that matters. If someone is not bringing you love and peace and positivity, remove it from your life. And to me, and this is just an opinion on what's been put out in the universe, Queen's family has done a lot of drama-filled things. Y'all can say what you want to say about Clarence all day, but guess what? I don't see him causing her any public drama and stress.
And putting her business
out there. Like, I don't see it. Heck, I mean, even for that girl. So
we're going to end this. Yeah. So thank you for suggesting us to watch or getting our reaction on the video. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, some things I did agree with him about, but then some things I strongly disagree. So if anybody else you want to get our reactions to any posting video, please let us know. We would definitely do that. I actually enjoyed it. It was just too long, 30 minutes. That's gonna make our video push about 40 minutes.
We already do about 30-minute videos.
We're trying to cut our video time down. But until next time, loves.